Okie dokie. So I got the message about the eyes. I still want to go the one that we just did. I'm going to change it up a little bit. What it is that the orbits right now are out of alignment on top of it. So you have a serious, and this is very similar to what happened to Graham, serious vomer jam with the sphenoid, first of all. So what's happening, if you can picture that, is because of the internal pressures and the swelling, the vomer is coming up into the sphenoid and then torqued a little bit. So with that being said, what I'd like to do now is work on my face with my hands. Now, for whatever reason, if you're not capable, because I know it's the side affected, and if it's how you're doing and stuff, and you let me know if it's too difficult for you, because I just don't know where your fine motor skills are or if it's fatiguing. Now, I'm not going to rest my hand on anything, but rest your hand on a pillow as much as possible. But that's how I'm going to work on this. That being said, here I go. Hi, it's Michelle Turner, and we're going to continue this series on buoyancy, and I want to talk again with skull movements. Very similar to what you see where I'm working with the skeletal system, or the head of the skull, in the tank that we've done in the video. I want to show what we're doing with movements. So again, most people think of rotation or head rotation from being from an exterior or where the spine, quote, connects, or the back of the spine. But rotation can happen in any part of our body. And what happens too, there are bones within the nasal cavity, just like I tried to show, that can get shifted. Now this can happen due to inflammation, infection, migraines, swelling, anything to do with blood pressure rising. And one of the things that happens, and I'll show you in anatomy-wise in another video, is there could be a dislocation or a jam. The nasal septum, the vomer, comes up through and it parks like a T, in a sense, on the sphenoid. The sphenoid is the bone that runs in between the eyes, and it allows this whole little mechanism to happen. And if the vomer car accidents, anything like this gets jammed in any way, but especially with internal pressure where it gets forced out and the sphenoid no longer has its movement needed. So I'm going to do a couple of videos on that, just showing how to work on yourself. Now, I'm putting my hands across my eyes. Now, if you have just come out of surgery or something like that where you're fatigued, by all means, put a pillow or something so the hand is supported as much as possible. You can do it underneath your arms, but what I don't want is a muscle, like where you're grabbing onto. What you're looking for is the float. I usually use my middle fingers. Now, you can also here's the bone, you'll feel the knob. You want to go in like a ½ an inch, right behind the bone, soft tissue. But you don't want to squeeze, because inside your temple you don't want another headache. So that's my hand positioning, but I'm just going to go over my eyes like a veil. So as I lightly rotate and push down with my right finger, I'm allowing my left finger to come up underneath. So my objective almost is like a figure 8 in through just this bridge part of the nose. Now, if you notice here, if I use my pointer finger, I'm not getting the movement as much as I would from my middle finger. You can go exterior again. You can play with this if you need, but right now I'm just looking for that twist. Now, if you want to go more thumb based, this is not a pressure, thumb up and thumb down. So again, notice the rotation, notice the twist. You can go directional, but what I'm looking for is to just create a little lift, to release the vomer off the sphenoid, but also just a little side to side to see if we can put that vomer back in place despite the swelling. So at least the swelling is coming direct on versus off tilt, which can create, you know, the orbits of the eyes to be off a little bit. This is a great little exercise to do before you're going to bed. And then also what I'm doing here, if you notice, and I've just been working actually with a lot of kids with vision with this, crossing midline and crossing midline. But that kind of scoop is more here versus an up or down. So I scoop and go out, and I scoop and go out. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, 1. It's not about, just imagine now if I were to look up at an airplane, look down at my shoes, just this easy glide. And just see if you can feel how much that part of the skull can move, that buoyancy. And we'll go on to the next video. Thank you. Hi, it's Michelle from Movement Lesson, and I'm going to continue in with the sphenoid vomer, and possibly if there's a jam. Now this time I'm going to go use the whole orbit of the eye. I'm going to start off like what we did with the last video, in through the center. But now I'm going to scoop and just start to raise just a little bit. Now again, I want you to be really relaxed. We're going into the epnoid, sepnoids cavities. Lots of times for people, this area, the cavities, nasal cavities, do not get a lot of blood flow. So afterwards, whenever you work on your eyes like this, allow yourself time to relax before you come in. But now what I'm going to do is I'm lifting, and now I'm going to be drawing out. So almost like you're tracing your eyebrows or that orbit. But now at this point, a little bit of push in, so this allows, again, that part of the bridge to come, that buoyancy. Allows to get a good center line. People from anything from lazy eye, stigmatism, migraines, again, infection, inflammation. And what you should start to feel too, which is a soft tissue of the palate. And now you're getting, and actually, like, it's going to feel like your whole face is being elongated. I would love your input with all of this. We're just going to go continue on with the face, in and out of learning about buoyancy, especially within the skull area. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.